Hello and welcome to my channel. We were in the house, which is probably more like a barn since it's made of straw, and yes, I know, I've heard of the big bad wolf, and I don't care, because I'm not gonna blow this house down. Especially when the straw is all covered with mud. Yeah, so anyway. So I wanted to do a different style of video today. We're going to take a look at an article called Obesity is the leading cause of death in America. When will we talk about it? And I did record this before, but my computer died. And yeah, so, and that video was really, really long, so I'm try to reduce it. I was ranting and yelling and everything, and I'm going to try to contain the yelling into a shorter video. So, as the New York Times reports, obesity is the leading cause of death in America, costing the healthcare system $1.72 trillion. $1.72 trillion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Go be unhealthy on your own time, pay for your own medical bills, and not use insurance. Because that means I have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. Alright. Bill Maher called for fat shaming as a means of transforming the lethargic mindset about obesity. Okay, my thought on that is it can work, but for other people it might just make them eat. When implemented properly, shame can be an important and powerful tool, writes NYU professor Jennifer Jackett. So, and then it goes on to talk about this documentary on Netflix called American Factory, where a Chinese billionaire opens a factory in the United States, and half the employees are Chinese and half of them are American. And all the American ones are fat, all the Chinese ones are, pretty thin and trim. And I haven't watched it, but I just read the synopsis there. So, and we just reiterate what we said in the opening. But let me reiterate what Bill Maher said, that last week 53 people were killed in mass shootings in August. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. And by comparison, the same month, 40,000 Americans died of disease associated with obesity. That's preventable. Do you remember back in the 80s? Maybe you don't remember back in the 80s, or they had the truth ads. It was like a big orange background, and then it would say truth in white letter. And it was about smoking and how terrible it was. And all these people were doing, I think what we would call flash mobs nowadays, but they were like going and laying in the street and stuff like that to bring awareness to how bad smoking was. We need to have a truth campaign for obesity. So this author goes on to talk about how they grew up overweight, and they were teased for their body, which is unfortunate. And they talk about shaming people. And there's a video of Bill Maher, which I will link this all below so you can read it at your leisure. Like I said, this video got really long when I started picking piece by piece by piece. Bill Maher did have kind of a funny set, I thought. I'm not sure that virginity should be the third one down after diabetes and heart disease, but, there's a lid for every pot. Which means you will find somebody to like you no matter what you look like. And then Jackett writes about anthropological studies where 2/3 of human conversation is gossip about other people. And of course, we're obsessed with selfies and social media. So it's pretty easy to comprehend that. And we're influenced and inspired by others, which is why I made this channel. It's to hopefully inspire other people to realize that you don't need a gym. You don't need to go crazy and, only eat organic stuff. I mean, hey, if you go that way, awesome. But your average person's still gonna eat processed food now and then. I'm sorry, it's true. So, not that I'm advocating that, not that I'm saying it's okay, but it happens. And then this talks about tribal cultures, which, living in our modern age, we do not understand tribal cultures. We do not understand. Because if somebody says something we don't like, we can block it. In a tribal culture, you don't get to block that. You still got to deal with that person, because that person might be the only person, the only plumber that for miles around. So you have to deal with that person. Even though they're an asshole, you still got to deal with them. Or, if the baker's a total tool, you still got to buy bread from the baker, unless you make it yourself. So you can't just block someone that you don't want to listen to in tribal cultures, is all I'm trying to say. And then the author goes on to talk about there are 7 habits of effective shaming. I'm not sure that I agree with shaming or bullying people, but of course this author is kind of advocating for it, and it may have its place. It might have its place. You just have to be careful, because you do it to the wrong person, they're just going to eat. Especially like if your mom is trying to put you on a diet, you're not going to let her. You're going to go drink soda, eat, candy and stuff when you're not around her, or you're going to sneak it. So it is a tightrope. This part I think is fascinating, because so many people feel that eating healthy is so expensive. As for respected sources, the Times article notes that the simple act of implementing medically tailored meals for the sickest Americans could save each patient $9,000 a year. It's expensive to eat healthy? And this can save you $9,000 a year? Bollocks. That's what I say. Then this author goes to talk about subsidizing and taxing. I'm not totally on board with that stuff. I think the government should stay out of that stuff. I mean, if I want to kill myself by drinking sugary beverages, okay, I think anyone should have that right. I mean, if you want to be obese, or you want to drink sugary sodas, or you want to do whatever, you should have the right. Honestly, I think you should, but at the same time, you're affecting me, and that's where I get upset, because I don't want to pay for it. And they also mentioned beef manufacturers here as being unhealthy. Beef in itself is not unhealthy. The problem is when you eat beef raised on a feedlot, it's fed corn to put meat on it faster, and corn is not something they should eat. It gives them ulcers, so then you have to give them antibiotics, and they also give them growth hormone. And yeah, if you have organically raised grass-fed beef, that's good for you. Okay, but I do agree with lowering sugars and trans fats standard in foods. And that's the thing, is that the big food companies have figured out that if they make Oreos addictive, I think I just ranted about this on the previous video, but if you make Oreos addictive, people will keep buying them. It's good for the bottom line. That's the thing. And it kills me that people are like, I was that way too, where I was like, oh, they won't put anything bad in it, right? Right? Tell me they won't put anything bad in the Oreos. They wouldn't do that, would they? Yes, they absolutely would. They would, to get you to eat more of them. And then they make money. That's how it works. So you need to not eat that stuff. But anyway, carrying on. I do believe in improving school lunches. There was a chef by the name of Jamie Oliver, I think, who went around to schools and tried to improve school lunches. And, he discovered that kids were drinking milk, which everyone thinks is good for them. Milk's good for you. Well, cow's milk has sugar in it. They add sugar to it to make you drink it. If you drink goat's milk, you will find that shit is not sweet. But you will drink cow's milk and that shit is sweet. And then they add chocolate or strawberry to it, which makes it even worse. And you shouldn't drink milk. You know why you shouldn't drink milk? Because It does the opposite of building bones. It does the opposite of building bones. It actually causes your body to leach calcium from your bones to digest it. And expanding the school garden programs and also reducing the amount of processed food being sold, that would be good. I remember when I worked at the Baptist camp ages ago, they would have a whole groups of kids come in and they would serve them pretty healthy lunches. I ate there. They were decently healthful lunches. And the kids wouldn't eat that. They would go outside and buy stuff out of the vending machine. So it starts at home. You've got to eat healthy food and influence your child to eat healthy food. Americans, as the Times state, are sick. More adults are obese than not, and over 100 million American adults are pre-diabetic or diabetic, and nearly half of the nation's adult population. Add that to the 122 million people suffering from cardiovascular disease. A lot of it's preventable. I mean, I know the health and any science people would like you to believe that, hey, it's the genetic lottery. But seriously, the genetic lottery is more like you have abs or you don't have abs. You know, you can either see your abs or you can't see your abs. That's the genetic lottery. It is not, ooh, I have diabetes. I mean, yes, some of it is genetic. I won't lie about that. But not 100 million people worth. We would have died a long time ago. Back in the day when there wasn't insulin. And then from the cardiovascular, I mean, this is preventable. And this is why the channel's here. Because this is preventable. You can prevent this just by trying to be healthy. Trying to be healthy. You know, just if you fake it till you make it, you know, try to be healthy, pretend you're a healthy person, do what you think healthy people do. So then it says, we're simply unwilling to discuss this public health crisis in any serious manner. Damn straight. Damn straight. The obese people who don't want to listen, the obese people who have not taken the red pill, they're the ones, they're like an addict on that show, Intervention. You know, the ones who are like, I don't need intervention, I can quit anytime. Or, I don't need intervention, I'm fine just the way I am, and all of you can sit and spin. So, that's what obese people are. They're addicts who are refusing the treatment program that everybody's trying to give them. And then the author goes on to quote Marr as stating that it's not about beauty, it's about health. That's what I've been trying to state. It's not about beauty, it's about health. It's about being healthy. There's a lid for every pot. You will find somebody who will love you. And honestly, that should be you. You should love you. If you love you, then that makes it open for other people to love you. Not to be all, you know, hippy-dippy, love and light and stuff, because I'm totally not into that kind of thing. But seriously, I have really low self-esteem. And I wouldn't say that I have high self-esteem right now. I don't think self-esteem exists, but more on that later, I guess, maybe. But what I did to try and help myself was I would look in the mirror. I come up to the mirror. You're the mirror right now. I love myself. And if you can't say that without being like, ha 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 ha, or I don't totally believe that, then this is what you say. You come up to the mirror and you say, I know it's okay to love myself. And you say that until you can say the first one. Okay. And then I have conveniently highlighted the next point I wanted to cover. Sometimes, though, we simply make excuses because we languish in our own bad habits. Yeah, absolutely. That's the excuse of, I can't lose weight. I've tried every diet in the book. You know what? I know that others would disagree with me on this, but every diet works. Every single one of them works. whether it's Atkins, keto, the cabbage soup diet, the Mediterranean diet, all of them work. Editing. Okay. Or not. All of them work. All diets work. Every single one. The problem is people stop doing whatever that is, and once they return back to what they were doing, then they gain all the weight back. Hello, that makes perfect sense. Duh. And that's why people say diets don't work. No, actually they do work. You do lose weight and you do all that stuff, but you can't subsist on the cabbage soup diet forever. Even Atkins, you can't subsist, or keto. I don't know that much about keto, assuming it's the same as Atkins. You can't subsist on just protein alone. You should probably have some carbs at some point. Make sure they're complex carbs. Don't just mow out on Snickers bars. But what really, really works is a lifestyle change. You pretend you're a healthy person and you think of what a healthy person would do. So, would a healthy person sit around and watch TV? No, they would not. Let me think of an outdoor activity I could do. I know. Geocaching. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because it sounds cool. I've never done it, but an active person would go do active things is what I'm trying to point out. You don't have to go geocaching, but it sounds cool. All right. So stop making excuses. And then this author goes on to say, is shame necessary? Sometimes it is. Is that the end? Maybe? Yes, that is the end. Whew, that went a lot faster than the last one. I think. I don't know. But really, this article is like the whole reason that I decided to do this is that I think, I hope what I want to do is I want to change somebody's life. I want to hopefully somebody out there, one of my 3 subscribers, will listen and get some good tips out of it and maybe become healthy if they're not already. Maybe they'll get some good tips and be like, oh, I never thought of that before. That's why I made this channel. Stop making excuses. Just get your butt up off the couch and walk. If you're morbidly obese and you're bedbound, well, do something. Stop eating junk. Have your family bring you good food. And not, unless you're like that poor teenager whose mom was stuffing them with, fast food even while they were dying in the hospital. I can't help with that. But, you can make a small change that will make a big difference. And I remember these ads for, I don't know, it was probably some freaking diet pill, I don't even know, where the woman is like, so my husband and I decided to lose weight, and he gave up soda and lost 20 pounds. I gave up soda and lost 5. And then it talks basically about the disparaging difference between men and women losing weight, and there is a difference, and this is probably why the health at any size movement is mostly female, is because it is a little harder for us to lose weight. Granted, that being said, I am a 44-year-old woman, 43, somewhere around there. I have to do the math every time because I really don't care how old I am, but I can lose weight. I've been doing it. I've lost 30 pounds at this point. I can do it, and so can you. It's not that hard. Even if you have PCOS, or even if you're diabetic, it can be done. You might have to go a little different route. You might have to be a little more chill. You might have to watch out for different things, like your blood sugar dropping through the floor. With PCOS, I'm not exactly sure because I don't have it. I don't know that much about it. But I mean, there's always something you can do to be a little more healthy. Even if it's like, I'm not going to drink soda anymore. Because really, you shouldn't be drinking soda. Hello? I mean, that's like cigarettes. You shouldn't be smoking. Hello? I mean, you can do little changes. And that's why I advocate for being lazy when you're making this transition, is just make a little change. And you'll be surprised at that effect. Stop eating like 100 calories. Just lop 100 calories off your diet. And that makes it a little harder, you know, because you got to be on point. But lop off 100 calories. You'll still lose weight. You know, decide to replace, you know, one meal a day with something healthy. You know, I mean, obviously you're going to want to progress to eating all healthy meals and not eating junk and eating lots of vegetables and stuff like that. But you can do this with one small change. It starts with one small step. And it just maddens me with this whole, I've got to do all this stuff, and I got to eat organic, and I got to start jogging, and I got to do all this stuff. And I tried that, and I failed so many times. I don't want people to do that or believe that. But at the same time, I want people to make a change. All right. So with that, with me pleading and begging for you to make change, which I know you are. If you're watching this video, you probably are making changes. You probably are being healthier. You know, I guess I'm just kind of ranting into the ether because obviously somebody from Health at Any Size movement is not going to be watching this video, but they should, because I'm fat. And I'm saying that their whole movement is wrong. Well, maybe not all of it, but, you know, the whole I can be healthy at any size, yeah, that's wrong. But I can do healthful things at any size, that's right. Anyway, I will talk to you later. This video is already long. I may edit all of this out. I don't know. Anyway, air hugs. Have a great week. And I believe in you. You can do this. You, right there. You can do this. And so can I. I'm proof. You can do this. Get my fingers in there. All right. See you guys later.